tut Gutes allen. Liebet eure Feinde und gebt, ohne etwas zurückzuerhoffen. Richtet nicht, damit ihr nicht gerichtet werdet. Verurteilt nicht, damit ihr nicht verurteilt werdet. Sprecht frei und ihr werdet freigesprochen werden. Was seht ihr da, den Splitter im Auge eures Bruders und den Balken in euren Augen? Seht ihr nicht?
In the heart of the 20th century, amidst the tumultuous world of cinema, a force of nature emerged. A man whose brilliance and madness wove an enigmatic tapestry of art and chaos. This is the story of Klaus Kinski, a name that would come to epitomize the very essence of passion, controversy, and unparalleled talent. Born on October 18, 1926 in Sopot, Free City of Danzig, he found solace in the magic of the theater at a young age, and it was there that his flame for performance was ignited. Kinski's destiny would take him far beyond the stages of his humble beginnings. Kinski was conscripted into the Wehrmacht in 1943 at the age of 17, serving in a Fallschirmjäger unit. He saw no action until the winter of 1944, when his unit was transferred to the German-occupied Netherlands, and he was captured by the British Army on his second day of combat. In his 1988 autobiography, All I Need Is Love, he claimed that he had decided to desert from the Wehrmacht and had been recaptured by German forces and sentenced to death in a court-martial before escaping and hiding in the woods, subsequently encountering a British patrol which shot him in the arm and captured him. After being treated for his wounds and interrogated, he was transferred to a prisoner of war camp in Colchester, Essex. The ship transporting him to Britain was torpedoed by a German U-boat, but arrived safely. While interned at Barrachurch Hall in Colchester, Kinski played his first roles on stage, taking part in variety shows intended to maintain morale among the prisoners. By May 1945, at the end of the war in Europe, the German POWs were anxious to return home. Kinski had heard that sick prisoners were to be returned first, and tried to qualify by standing outside naked at night, drinking urine and eating cigarettes. He remained healthy, however, and was returned to Germany in 1946. Arriving in Berlin, he learned his father had died during the war, and his mother had been killed in an Allied air attack on the city, which impacted him profoundly. After his return to Germany, Kinski started out as an actor, first at a small touring company in Offenburg, where he first used the name Klaus Kinski. In 1946, he was hired by the renowned Schlosspark Theater in Berlin, but he was fired the following year due to his unpredictable behavior. He found work at other theater companies thereafter, but his emotional volatility regularly got him into trouble. During the 1960s and 1970s, he appeared in various European exploitation films, as well as more acclaimed works such as Dr. Zhivago in which he appeared as an anarchist prisoner on his way to the Gulag.
That's very good. I'm an intellectual.
Shut up, you intellectual.
Shut up, you expel.
He relocated to Italy during the late 1960s and found roles in many spaghetti westerns, including For a Few Dollars More, the second film in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy.
2, 3.
Stop it!
Kinski's work with Werner Herzog brought him international recognition. They made 5 films together: Aguirre, The Wrath of God, Wojciech, Nosferatu the Vampire, Fitzcarraldo, and Cobra Verde. The working relationship between the two was contentious. Herzog had threatened, on occasion, to murder Kinski. In one incident, Kinski was said to have been saved by his dog, who attacked Herzog as he crept up to supposedly burn down the actor's house. Herzog has refused to comment on his numerous other plans to kill Kinski. However, he did pull a gun on Kinski, or at least threatened to do so on the set of Aguirre, The Wrath of God, after the actor threatened to walk off the set.
Der Dreharbeiten zu Aguirre, das heißt, weder Kinski noch ich wussten davon, dass da eine Aufnahme gemacht wurde. Das hat damals der Tonmeister gemacht. Ich spiele das mal vor.
Moment, ich habe eine technische Probe gemacht. Und geben Sie mir keine Regie an, weil ich kann nicht vertragen, ich weiß alleine, was ich machen soll. Ja, technisch, aber nicht sagen, wie ich es machen soll, das mache ich alles alleine. Nein, nicht ganz. Doch, vollkommen alleine. Oder Sie stellen sich hin für mich und machen es. Sie wollen immer halbe Sachen, Sie haben einfach Schiss vor Konsequenzen. Und wenn jemand sich aufregt, Sie kommen mir so vor wie Gründchen, wo Fehler immer sagt, der hat wohl Schiss davor, deswegen macht das nicht. Und das, wenn Sie einen Erregten haben wollen, dann lassen Sie ihn erregt. Auch David Lean hat das gemacht und auch Brecht. Und Sie werden es auch tun, mein Lieber. Werde ich nicht tun.
Ja, heute kann ich da natürlich drüber lachen, aber damals war das natürlich ernst und war eigentlich gar nicht lustig.
Aguirre, The Wrath of God follows Spanish soldier Lope de Aguirre, played by Kinski, who leads a group of conquistadors down the Amazon River in South America in search of the legendary city of gold, El Dorado. From the beginning of the production, Herzog and Kinski argued about the proper manner to portray Aguirre. Kinski wanted to play a wild, ranting madman, but Herzog wanted something quieter, more menacing. In order to get the performance he desired, before each shot Herzog would deliberately infuriate Kinski. After waiting for the hot-tempered actor's anger to burn itself out, Herzog would then roll the camera. On one occasion, irritated by the noise from a hut where cast and crew were playing cards, the explosive Kinski fired 3 gunshots at it, blowing the tip off one extra's finger. Subsequently, Kinski decided to leave the jungle location, only changing his mind after Herzog threatened to shoot first Kinski and then himself. The latter incident has given rise to the legend that Herzog made Kinski act for him at gunpoint. However, Herzog has repeatedly denied the claim during interviews, saying he only verbally threatened Kinski in the heat of the moment in a desperate attempt to keep him from leaving the set.
Why do you work together?
Because he's crazy. And so I am, that's why.
It's a perfect combination of the mad people and madmen.
The film was made for $370,000, with 1/3 of the budget paying for Kinski's salary. In Germany, the Süddeutsche Zeitung described the film as a color-drenched, violently physical moving painting. The Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung described Kinski's acting as too theatrical to embody God's wrath. Their next collaboration was in 1972 with Wojciech. The film follows Franz Wojciech, a lowly soldier stationed in a mid-19th century provincial German town, and is the father of an illegitimate child by his mistress Marie. He earns extra money for his family by agreeing to take part in medical experiments. The scenes were accomplished mostly in a single take, which allowed the filming to be completed in only 18 days. It was edited in just 4. Unlike the production of their first film together, Herzog and Kinski got along a lot more while filming Wojciech. Even one of the actresses stated that there was a calm and warmer side to him and that he was very professional. Wojciech reviews were mostly positive and garnered praise for its dark and atmospheric portrayal of the titular character's descent into madness. Klaus Kinski's intense and captivating performance as Wojciech was widely acclaimed, highlighting his ability to convey the character's torment and vulnerability. Critics also praised Herzog's direction for its visual and thematic depth. The next film was Nosferatu the Vampire, which was filmed before Wojciech but released after. This film is a reimagining of the 1922 Nosferatu, as it follows Jonathan Harker, who is an estate agent in Wismar, Germany. His employer, Renfield, informs him that nobleman Count Dracula wishes to buy a property in Wismar. Harker is assigned to visit the Count and complete the deal. Although he fought with Herzog and others during the making of other films, Kinski got along with the makeup designer, and the 4-hour makeup sessions went on with no outbursts from him. Despite the challenges, Kinski's performance in Nosferatu the Vampire was widely praised. He brought a unique interpretation to the character of Dracula, infusing the role with a sense of melancholy and pathos. Kinski's physicality and expressive face were well suited to portraying the immortal creature, capturing both the seductive charm and underlying darkness of the vampire and without his ego. Whereas Aguirre, the Wrath of God, had extreme tension between actor and director, Wojciech and Nosferatu, the Vampire, seemed to have Kinski as a more professional and more caring actor. However, that would all change with their next collaboration, Fitzcarraldo. Brian Sweeney Fitzgerald, who goes by Fitzcarraldo, is an obsessed opera lover who wants to build an opera house in the jungle. To accomplish this, he first has to make a fortune in the rubber business, and his cunning plan involves hauling an enormous riverboat across a small mountain with aid from the local Indians. Kinski displayed erratic behavior throughout the production and fought virulently with Herzog and other members of the crew. A scene from Herzog's documentary about the actor My Best Fiend shows Kinski raging at production manager Walter Saxer over such matters as the quality of the food.
Diesmal sitzt in dem Kostüm in deiner Scheißkarre in Holland!
Mach zu, mach zu!
Draußen mit eurer Freundschaft, ich möchte deinen Dreck! Wir brauchen einen Fotografen! Verstehst du? Na mach doch deinen Scheiß! Überhaupt nichts, aber überhaupt nichts! Existierst überhaupt nicht für mich!
Nimmst es, wie du es willst, aber ich sag, du sollst dich bitte benehmen wie ein Mensch hier, ja?
Das ist ungeheuerlich.
Und nicht rumblären wegen einem Problem, wegen die Konsequenzen, die daraus gezogen werden, scheißegal, ja?
Das weiß ich, dir ist alles scheißegal. Es sind doch die Leute immer scheißegal gewesen, immer!
There were many famous incidents on the set of the film, and Kinski always felt that he had to be in the center of everything. Herzog has noted that the native extras were greatly upset by the actors' behavior, while Kinski claimed to feel close to them. In My Best Fiend, Herzog says that one of the native chiefs offered, in all seriousness, to kill Kinski for him, but that he declined because he needed the actor to complete filming. According to Herzog, he exploited these tensions. For example, in a scene in which the ship's crew is eating dinner while surrounded by the natives, the clamor the chief incites over Fitzcarraldo was inspired by actual hatred of Kinski. Film critic Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 4 stars in his original 1982 review, and he compared Fitzcarraldo to films like Apocalypse Now in 2001, A Space Odyssey, noting that we are always aware both of the film and of the making of the film, and concluding that the movie is imperfect but transcendent. Kinski's performance was once again praised for his versatility and how compelling he makes the character of Fitzcarraldo. But it wouldn't be the last film Herzog and Kinski made together. Cobra Verde was released in 1987, and it follows Francisco Manuel da Silva, who is a debauched Brazilian rancher who has reluctantly gone to work at a gold mining company after his ranch is ruined by drought. When he discovers that he is being financially exploited, he murders his boss and goes on the lam to pursue a career as an outlaw. During pre-production, Herzog showed Kinski photographs of the locations he was considering. Kinski disagreed with Herzog about which locations would be best for the film, and he took a trip with a group of friends to some remote places that fascinated him. The tension between Kinski and the crew members were at an all-time high, culminating in the film's original cinematographer Thomas Mausch walking out on the project after a perpetual torrent of verbal abuse from Kinski. Jesus Christ Savior, written and performed by Klaus Kinski, is a long-lost film record of a 1971 theatrical performance about Jesus Christ that turned into a confrontation between Kinski and the audience. It proved to be a test for the intense actor. Kinski, dressed as a rock star with long hair and hippie clothing, incarnates a modern Jesus Christ, describing who he was and the nature of his true anarchist message of love before being arrested and killed. Agitators in the theater's audience continuously interrupt, provoke, and insult Kinski. They even come on stage and challenge Kinski mid-performance.
Wenn ihm einer widersprochen hat, dann hat versucht, ihn zu überzeugen, hat nicht gesagt, halt deine Schnauze.
Nein, hat nicht gesagt, halt die Schnauze. Hat eine Peitsche genommen und hat ihm in die Fresse gehauen. Das hat er gemacht. Du dumme Sau!
Kinski storms off in a rage and leaves the stage multiple times, only to return.
Du weißt dabei auch nur nicht, dass ich auch solche Krimis nicht für einen Schwachsinnigen gemacht habe, wie du bist, du Idiot. Was weißt denn du von Gott? Das ist ihm nicht mit! Was bist du denn von ihm? Mir ist das zu viel für Sie! Also jetzt für die anderen kommt jetzt einer von diesen Schwachsinnigen herauf und spricht.
After numerous violent interruptions, the performance dissolves into chaos, and the police arrive and stop the event. In the 23rd of November 1991, Klaus Kinski would suffer a fatal heart attack at his home in Lagunitas, California. He was 65 years old. His body was cremated, and his ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. Of his 3 children, only his son Nikolai attended his funeral. In 2013, more than 20 years after her father's death, his daughter Paula Kinski published an autobiography titled Kindermund, in which she claimed her father had sexually abused her from the age of 5 to 19. Paula's half-sister, Nastasia, said their father would embrace her in a sexual manner when she was 4 years old, but never had sex with her. Nastasia has expressed support for Paula and said that she was always afraid of their father, whom she described as an unpredictable tyrant. In My Best Fiend, his 1999 documentary about Kinski, Werner Herzog claimed that Kinski had fabricated much of his autobiography and told of the difficulties in their working relationship.
Geschmeiß. Und was muss ich an den Preis bekommen, ich weiß.
Kinski had a self-cultivated image of hedonism and excess, which was reflected in his relationships, most famously with Herzog. While obviously very speculative, it seems possible that their love-hate relationship was by gradually taming the wild and unpredictable Kinski. Herzog was also attempting to humanize him, an action which, given Kinski's apparent commitment to remaining undomesticated, could be equally considered an act of affection and aggression.
Wir zusammen. Wir waren bereit, miteinander unterzugehen.
Kinski disdained his chosen profession, once saying, "I wish I'd never been an actor. I'd rather have been a streetwalker selling my body than selling my tears and my laughter, my grief and my joy." Despite the challenges Kinski faced in his life, whether it was his mental health or affecting others' mental health, there is no denying that Kinski's performances throughout his extensive filmography were nothing short of mesmerizing.
Ich will eine Robe haben!
He possessed an uncanny ability to portray characters on the brink of madness, infusing them with raw emotion and an unsettling magnetism. Klaus Kinski's lasting legacy on film history is one of uncompromising artistry and a willingness to push boundaries. His legacy serves as a reminder of the transformative power of cinema and the indelible impression left by those who dare to challenge convention.
Und dann sehe ich ihn mit einem Schmetterling ganz sachte, ganz leicht. Das kleine Wesen will nicht fort von ihm und ist so zutraulich, dass mir manchmal